video here. Who knows? Maybe it won't be short if you guys have some great conversation. But I'm going to cover the data in a short amount of time, and then I'll keep it open for further communication. That way, in case I share it with anyone, they'll already have the information I want to show. So maybe a lot of you don't know, but I have been in the finance industry and the real estate industry for over 30 years of my life. And I've owned a few dozen homes, not all at the same time, but and then I've also been involved in all kinds of areas of finance. And maybe some of you know I did live in Las Vegas for a short period of time to have some nice weather, have some good health, and avoid things that were going on. I wasn't living right downtown Las Vegas. That's what a lot of people think Las Vegas is. But it's actually a huge metropolis. I would estimate it's 30 miles by 20, 30 miles. So, and you can live on the outskirts and really enjoy things. So I've been doing some research recently on these crazy house prices, mainly in 3 cities. You can find them in other cities too, but something I want to show is that, so the 3 that I've spent a number of hours researching are Austin, Texas. I never had been there before. I was there this spring. Las Vegas, Nevada. Never lived there until this past year. And Boise, Idaho, which I've actually been through and visited many times. So these are some areas that have experienced for people who may not be from the United States. And you know, you can get numbers from the internet and different things like that, but until you have boots on the ground, you don't really know. But I would say all 3 of these areas are very similar. They've experienced 50 to 100% price gains in the last 2 years. So, yeah, so, and I will respond to your comments. Like I said, I want to cover the details first. And then, thanks for coming in, C. Vasilis. And it says they're doing the same thing with cars. Totally, I agree. But what I want to show you here is, and I'm not going to focus on the players. I'm going to just focus on the details. So we have a nice home. This is a standard home in Las Vegas, a 2,000 square foot 2-story. And we won't talk, you know, I mean, I guess I can share some info. These houses were 300 to 350,000 back in the early 2000s. And Vegas was a bargain in anybody's mind. You could see it during 2010, 11, 12. You could pick up all kinds of houses for 100 to 150,000. But what we're going to focus on here is the current asking price on Zillow is 517,000 for this house. And it's actually a decent house. It has some old trees. It actually has a yard compared to a lot that don't. But what's super important about this is the fact that I'm going to show you some stuff here. Look at this. So the Zestimate is that this house is all good, yet the houses around it are worth 426, 488. There is a 559 and 605. I didn't see that earlier, but a lot of these are 397, 414. You know, so quite a bit lower. And what we want to focus on here, that's just mind blowing. And I know this is only one site, but you can pull it up on other valuation sites. I want to show you something here about this house. You know, let's just presume it's a nice house. It's in decent shape. You're paying $260 a square foot. And what we got here is, let's get down here. We got the robot looking kind of panicky, freaked out, saying the list price estimate for this home is very different. Yeah, okay, so the company's website that I'm on is actually the owner of this and selling it. And right here you can see that the estimate's 440,000 and the range is 405 to 471. If anybody's noticed, these price ranges on houses have become quite a wide range. Now, here's where it gets really wild. So this house was just put on the market for 517. And like I said, houses were crazy cheap back here at the bottom in Vegas. I mean, it was unbelievable. You could buy the houses for way less than the materials in them. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that right when the beer bug hit, this house was estimated to be worth $383,000. Okay, so I'll give a shout out here in just a second. Right now, Sideways, we've got Sideways Stewie in. Thanks for your last vid. I was under the impression stores were running empty. Some are, some aren't. And we also have Alan Beck in. I make an offer on a house. Someone ends up paying 50 grand more in cash than sale price. Has happened to you many times to be coincidence. It's not coincidence, and it's not a person. That's what I'm discovering. So I am back in depth here on the housing and mortgage thing, which I stepped away from a few years ago. So what I want to show you is, so this house was 383, okay? And, you know, interest rates went down and people were looking to move to other areas. A lot of people moving, especially out of the high cost coast areas. So, you know, you got this thing going up to 400,000 a year ago. So 1 year ago, 400,000. And this chart even shows, you know, that it dipped a little bit, okay? Now here's what's crazy about it is their own chart shows, look at this, 435 in July. So right there, 435 in July, but now knowing that they are going to bring this thing on the market, amazingly, just before Halloween, oh, it's sold. So this is, and the person who bought it is that. So think about this. They paid that amount, 525,000 for a house that they just a couple months earlier said was worth that. So they paid 100,000 more than that. Yet their own system is saying it's worth similar to that, what it was just a few months ago. Yet they were willing to pay that for it. So, well, that's what it's listed for. But there's the sold. What? This is crazy. And don't focus too much on the details of the player, because I hope a lot of you are aware that the government uses private corporations. We are, oh, I can't even think of the name, but when corporations merge with the government, you start having things happen. So everybody's blaming Zillow, calling them stupid and all that stuff. But, you know, what if, think about this. So it appears that Zillow bought about 7,000 houses and a large percentage of those in just a few neighborhoods. And and they overpaid by about 100,000 on each one of these houses. So that's only a $700 million mistake. Let's see, the government just passed a $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan. Be pretty easy to take 700 million out of 1.2 trillion. That'd be like reaching in your pocket, pulling out a dollar bill or two and saying, well, we'll reimburse them for keeping that game going. So, I mean, look, the chart does not even go there, you know, it's right here. But in the very end, amazingly, this house became worth a lot more right before they listed it. That's what's crazy about this. And you can find these everywhere. So what they paid, and then now it's listed for this. Yet their own system says it's worth that. So don't tell me that they made mistakes. This is obvious to see what's going on here. Look at, they paid 198% more than the last person. And then they listed it for sale for less. Oops, little mistake there. Don't know if there's any more details in this, but that's the most important part. And the most important part is, so this is what they're asking. And here's what this company says the other houses in the neighborhood are worth. 383, 433, 416, 397. 423 right out the back door, 409. Makes you really wonder what the value of this house is, okay? So now that's just one. You're like, oh, Jason, you found it. No, I looked at literally probably close to 1,000 in those three cities, Boise, Las Vegas, and Austin, Texas. And I would say 30-40% of them had extremely funky numbers. Here we have another one, okay? So we'll go to this one. I will go to comments here real quick, but I do want to make this cover the details up front. I will stay open for questions. The details up front are because I want to share this with some big name channels. Sideways Stewie says, here in Netherlands, everyone overpays 100 grand in euros just to get the house. New trend, not corporation related. Well, here's what I'd say. Sideways is, I agree with you. A private person pays it in the end, but they don't realize that the bidders that are outbidding them. So think about this. You have, let's say you have 3, 4 real people that want a house, and yes, one of them, or possibly more than one of them, has access to an extra few $100,000 because a parent passed away, they bought some crypto, whatever. Well, 3 normal people sitting in a room at a desk, they're not going to outbid each other like that. I bought a dozen or more properties at auctions, and honestly, when it would start getting very competitive, you'd get together with the other guys and say, hey, what's your plan? What's going on here? Let's not give the bank a ton of money. Are you going to back down or whatnot? So, but if you have a company or system that is willing to, that kind of knows your information, knows what your pressure points are, they may bid you up until you pay that 100,000, and then it closes in a real person's name, and you're like, wow, these people are willing to do it. But what if they were the only one? So they think they were in a bidding war with 7 or 8 people, but in reality, it was the system pushing them to the top. Yeah, thank you, Alan. We got Snack Up in. Jesus is coming back soon. Maybe. Captain Rankin, what's up? Yeah, shill bidding to the highest level, Captain Rankin. Not even, yeah, that's what this video is about, but I figured if I put that as the title, wouldn't go well. Anyway, yeah, and so let's look at this one here. Look, we have another 2,000 square foot. This is a Rambler. Nice house. These are the mid-range houses in Vegas. Not there is some crappy houses and there's really nice houses. And so let's look at the details on this one. So it's owned here. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm not going to go into the details. Mostly price and square footage. We're just going to presume that they're nice. They've been taken care of. They've been fixed up. They may not have. That's more looking into real details. So here we are, 267 a square foot. Now, this is the list price, and this is the estimated value on this house. Now, here's where it gets crazy once again. Wow, this is a house that people like to sell. This guy here, he's now in an insane asylum because he sold the house at the low, and he lives in a tent now somewhere. And he pulls up Zillow on his phone, finding out that he could have $400,000 more in just 9 years. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I sold some houses in here. I could not get financing. I bought some fixers in the South Seattle area. People will think I'm insane. I was able to hold on to a few, but boy, a lot of them I bought for 70 to 100,000, fixed them up and sold them. I couldn't get a loan. Nobody would lend money, and so I'd sell them for 120 to 150 at this point. So we're not going to focus on that. But what we'll do here is we'll go, okay, so this house was worth 400 grand, 2021, 2.5 years ago. Now look at this. This is kind of interesting. I don't know why Zillow would do this. So it's still worth 400 grand. Oh, wait, I was right there. Right as the beer bug. 400. For some reason they said it dipped. That's kind of interesting. But and that seems like a fair price on this house. That means the payment was around $2,000 for a nice 2,000 square foot Rambler in Vegas. And then it climbed up a little, and then look right here in the end, just starts skyrocketing. Isn't it interesting that the estimate skyrockets, goes on this parabolic move just before we get to this point here of oh looky, and this is the people who paid that price with this. So they pumped their own estimate up. Oop, I said it. And then paid $551,000 for this just before Halloween. This is only like 3 weeks ago. And so you're going to tell me you'd pay $550 for a house that your own system, your own valuation system, said it was worth 100,000 less 6 months earlier. Yeah, right. This is planned, and now it's listed for this price. But think they were in a bidding war here, paid cash, created a comp for a lot of other houses, and you do this just in every few blocks, you do this a few hundred times, you've created a whole market value that is no longer along, people, the real people who had money issues and stress like that, the prices went down. But we're going to tell you all of a sudden everybody's super rich and they're willing to pay insane prices for houses. And I could just go on and on and on. So look, they're selling it at a loss, supposedly. Paid this much more of a premium than the last person paid. So just unbelievable. I find this really weird. I don't know how they're getting these weird tax estimates down in Vegas. That's weird. So I wanted to just share this, and I'm interested in taking some of your comments. And yeah, like I said, so you can find this information in Vegas, Austin, and Boise. You can find it in other areas, but in those three areas, I noticed houses went up 25 to 30% just in the last 6 months. But now the inventory is great, and the real buyers don't seem to be stepping up. So, Captain Rankin says, plan for the elites to buy up homes. And yeah, single family rentals. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously putting these prices out there where no intelligent individual who's actually worked their life for money and saved money would pay that on a 2,000 square foot house, knowing they could only probably get 2,000 rent. So you're going to put up $500,000 to collect $24,000 if the person pays on time, doesn't damage the property over the entire year. So hey, what's up, Mandela? Hey, I got one for you. So besides tinfoil, I've been to 3 stores since you and I talked. Oh God, that sounds bad because I was going to share this with people. We're talking about just products that are not available. Another one that I can't find anywhere, and I couldn't find it when I was across the country too, was, side note, guys, I'll get right back to houses, is you can't get hydrogen peroxide, and I don't know why. So you can't get foil and you can't get hydrogen peroxide. Anyway, so I just wanted to share this. If anybody has any questions or comments, I hope actually I may do a spin-off channel. Thinking I would really like to, I've covered a lot of topics in this channel. I'd love for one to just be houses, real estate, and things like that, investments. That's been a big part of my life. I still would like another channel to be a, what we see type truth channel. But yeah, so anyway, that's what this was mostly about, was you think you're in a bidding war, like Alan said up here, he's been losing out. I have multiple friends that have lost out. And then I've had friends who have won, and guess what? They have had to come in with these crazy prices. And here's the weird thing. I find this really interesting. So let's say the cash buyer is 530. A lot of times the person getting a loan wins at 535, putting 50 to 100,000 down. Think about that for a second. So the cash buyer pushed that loan buyer way to the limit, basically until he was about ready to break, and then he paid. So he actually creates a real comp. You're like, that was a real person getting a real loan, buying a house. But if the cash buyer had not been there pumping it up, with an escalation clause, this house might have sold for 450. Not this one, but in particular versus 550. So, hey, what's up? That's awesome. Scott's there. What's up, MA and Scott? Miss you guys so much. What? Hydrogen peroxide was banned. Well, that could explain why I can't find it anywhere. Okay. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here, MA and Scott. But man, I would love to do a live stream and talk about some other stuff. So yeah, Uh, just a side note. I want to say something, but I can't. It's good seeing you guys, and the joke there about your Baldy hair tour. Um, Discovered that there's things out there that grow it just for. I'm just doing anyway. Anyway, so this is my update, and so if you stayed this long and you're like, "Geez, I thought this guy was a finance guy. He was going to talk about some houses." Um, and this is where we're at. What's up with him? Let's go. Let's just go back and pick another random one. Let's pick another random one. Um, let's see this one here. So here's the crazy part: is they've gotten really expensive on these smaller houses. I mean, little 1,400 square foot house, which is nice. Actually, I wouldn't mind that. But you used to be able to get these for 250, 300. Single person type houses, and they've priced them at almost the same price, just a few thousand less than a house that a family of 4 or 5 could live in. Okay, look at this. So wait, so who owns this house? So 450, and the estimate is 408, 42,000 more. And it's just, that's just a basic house, has not been upgraded at all. I Every house that I had and flipped and took care of, I made look way better than that. Um, let's see here. Let's just see what the details say down here about this house. They give you a nice little tight range. So look, this is another one. This is what you'll find in these cities. Did it sell? Oh, this poor person. They sold it for 100. Why would somebody sell it for 192,000 3 years ago when it was worth 308 at the time? Oh, that's some kind of weird. Probably got screwed. Probably the Matrix or government after them. So nice, steady incline. Inflation, wages go up 4 or 5% a year. Totally understandable. Look at this until right here. So just this year. So this home was worth 320,000. That would be back in January. That would be about a $1,600 payment for a 3 bedroom. Not bad. Kind of a stretch for a single person, or two or whatever. But you could pull it off. And then look at this interesting thing. So look, then it goes parabolic, basically, all the way up. So just a month ago, 400. But now they decide to list it for 450. They're off the chart right here at 450. Why would somebody pay? Why it was 300 back here at the beginning of the year. Why would you go that much above what the estimate's telling you? So anyway, yeah, so it just goes on and on. I miss you guys. Hey, I sent you an email, Scott, aka Bald Gamer. There, just I was asking you questions about what's going on. Love to communicate with you guys if you guys ever want to talk about just what we're seeing. So, um, hey, what's up, Enslaved by No Media? We got Tom Beresford in the house, Bald Gamer, Captain Rankin. Yeah, it really does seem they don't want us to own anything. That is becoming very obvious. I don't know what Rokefin an option for you. Oh, maybe it says live stream as of now, no censorship. Yeah, as long as I, keep it, I don't know. I don't have a lot of time and effort to put in it because just so many of my videos got crushed and blocked and things of that sort. So, and we got truth wins every time. So thank you guys for stopping in. I just wanted to show these strange house prices, what's going on. There's some kind of game being played here with house prices that, you think you're involved in bidding wars with real people willing to pay real prices. And the data, just a slight amount of research on the data shows that that is not the case. So thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And I have quite a few people in, so that's really cool. So, to look me up on Facebook. Then reach out to me here. You can send me a message on here. I'll kind of look for it. Truth wins every time. So, comment in there. You can post a comment and then I'll delete it if it has information, or I think there's a way in YouTube that you can message me directly. So anyway, yeah, I do actually support, provide some information to some bigger channels, some financial information. I don't think they really know my whole background, which is good, because they use the data and the info sometimes in their videos, which I do find interesting. And I know, this all could just be fake make believe. And so, why give it so much energy? Who knows? So anyway, I just wanted to show that companies are buying houses for 50 to 100,000 over what they say it's worth, and then listing it a few weeks later for less. So who are you in a bidding war on these houses with? You don't know. All right, guys, take care, and thanks for stopping in. Bye. Hey, and if you need a home loan, I am back in the home loan business, so I can help you out.